play. All right, guys. Different type of Zoom meeting this afternoon. We haven't got any coaching videos or anything to go through, but we do have a special guest. I'm not sure how to introduce him, whether we introduce him as a hot favourite for our best first-year field umpire this year, or as the CEO of the Adelaide Footy League. But it's great John Kernahan has made himself available to come on and give us a bit of an update on how things are travelling, and I guess answer any questions anyone might have. So, John, did you want to unmute yourself and take over?
Well, I think I am unmuted. Can anyone hear me?
Yep, all good. Loud and clear.
Yeah, best first year umpire by street. Who is the reigning best first year umpire, I might add, if I can?
Oh, who won it last year? Someone remind me.
Ace Ventura.
Oh yeah, Paul Ventura. He's out at the sample this year. Yep.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, I guarantee you that won't be happening. I won't be following him in his footsteps to the sample. Listen, thanks, guys. And I think as per the last time I joined you on a Zoom, you're a really ordinary looking bunch. Marty Daunt's a good looking chap. He could still pull him. Yeah, no, the rest of you don't have much chance at all, I'm afraid. No. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Guys, I don't have much to share other than we're waiting for tomorrow afternoon to find out whether we'll be coming back to play next Saturday. The anecdotal information that we're getting to date is that we will not be, primarily because they're not so much concerned about returning to play for the players and coaches because they're manageable, but our grounds, especially because we don't have fences, they're a little concerned at this early stage that there's no ability to track and trace beyond those that enter the club. So I'm offering that to you as a heads up, as much as I'm going to offer a rider that could change tomorrow afternoon. But we've been forewarned not to get our hopes up by SA Health. So that being the case, we would come back on the 7th, which is Saturday week. With respect to finals composition, as I've said a few times, the most important and the most significant is that we can satisfy relegation, because there were some sides or clubs that dodged a bullet last year because of COVID. So it's really important that we can get 18 minor round matches so that everyone can look each other in the eye and know where they finished on the ladder. We'll see how we go at the end of this season, at the end of the home and away season, as to how many weeks we have left, as to what the composition of the final structure is, whether it's any of top five, as in a top five over 4 weeks, a top five over 4 weeks, which is the old McIntyre system, a top four over 2 weeks, which would be 2 preliminary finals, and then the winner of those into a grand final. So for those that are familiar with the cricket final structure, it'd be 1v4 and 2v3 with the winner going through to the grand final. That's got hairs on it too, because one of the things that we are getting back from SA Health is even if we get to that period of time, they suspect that we're still going to be hamstrung by crowd control. So the only solution we could see at the moment to that is that we had a top three and the minor premier went straight into the grand final, and 2v3 played in the preliminary final at a neutral ground or gated ground. So listen, I've given you a small snapshot of where we think it's at. There isn't any clear idea at the moment as to which way we'll go, other than we're simply moving the chess pieces as we get information from SA Health as to where they think we're at. But they're really concerned about crowd control. That's our major concern at the moment. And that one alone is going to impact just as much as how many weeks we've got left, what sort of finals composition we have. I'm up for any questions.
If anyone's got any questions, you can unmute yourself and fire away. Now's the chance.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Um,
And unfortunately, I can see you.
Do you know what Terry McAuliffe, the race caller for the Athletic League, used to call Craig when he was racing?
There's so many lines there. I don't even want to begin to open myself for a HR complaint.
He used to be called the porn star. It was
and they needed a large screen as well. Now, my question is, given that we've got so many older umpires,
Yep.
Is it true that you're going to dictate that only vaccinated umpires will be able to umpire with people like Barry Lewis?
Well, there's an answer to that as well, in that my understanding is anyone on the shit list has to umpire with Barry Lewis. Age exclusive.
Will we have to show our vaccination passports before we can go to training, for instance?
No.
Barry's not on the line, obviously.
He is.
Hi, Barry.
He's very much on the line. He'll come back in a minute, I'm sure, when he works out how to unmute himself.
Thank you, Curtis.
No worries.
All right.
Hales, you'd have something. You'd be dying to open up your mouth.
Now, Barry has unmuted himself, so I'm sure he's got
Curtis?
some reply there.
Yes, now,
I'll let
Craig,
Barry wait for a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, now, as I was saying, sorry, Dave, just bow out and get to my status. Craig, that wasn't very fair at all. Just a comment. Goodbye.
All right.
Okay.
Bowsy.
Yeah, back to the boys. Yeah, we always appreciate your humour, Kerners. So keep it up, because in this time and this age of the coronavirus, we need all the laughs and jokes we can get. So that was good, and some of Craig's comments were on the humorous side as well. So that's good to see that we have to all have a sense of humour.
Now, there's someone there giving either me or Bales the bird. Who is that? It's Gory.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell by the cul-de-sac on your head, Gory.
Just a parting comment, Kerners. Seeing I had to put up with you in games for so long, maybe one day we'll do a game together as well. Umpire.
I can't carry you too. Marty carried me a few weeks ago. Is that Chris Lambert, the former Broadview multi-premiership winning player there that I can see?
Yes. Hello, John.
Yeah.
Hello, Lambo. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, see, the hypocrisy runs deep, isn't it? You're another one that used to give the umpires plenty when you played.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you find yourself over here taking comfort as a friend, not foe.
And I have to bite my tongue at times too, so I don't bite too hard.
Who else we got there? Andrew Barker. You look like Cheech out of Cheech and Chong.
This has been a much less informative session rather than just a chance for everyone to have a crack at each other.
Anyway.
I'll ask something. Hey, John, Sam, have you spoken to the clubs, and what's their reaction to top three?
We're no more locked on Division 3, top three than we are top five. That's just part of. But the reality is this: we don't want to play 2 or 3 weeks of finals and then go into lockdown and play no grand finals. So there's a significant chunk of income from a grand final day. So we're trying to find a balance between integrity of the home and away competition, which is 18 rounds, a quick snapshot of the finals, the top 5 in the last 10 years, I think had two from 4 or 5 go through and win the grand final, and 6 from 4 or 5 that went through to earn promotion. So at a 70 grand finals, in the grand scheme of things, who cares, Sam?
Yeah, I think it's, I don't know, if I was playing and I was 5th or 4th or something,
Okay,
yeah,
all right,
I'd
all
want
right.
to,
Let me practice what I'm going to be saying plenty of to clubs over the course of the next few weeks. Give me the solution.
yeah, well, just off the top of my head,
You don't have
I
one.
mean,
Okay.
players are quite young.
No. Give me the solution.
The solution is maybe Tuesday night, try and fit as many games as you can in 1 week.
Yeah, I can see the clubs lining up for that, Sam.
No, would they? I mean, I don't know.
No, they
I'm
would not.
asking the question.
No, they would not. No.
Okay.
For
And
what? What are the
reduce the time?
So a Tuesday. Let's play that out. So a Tuesday night match.
Yeah.
There's still Saturday football goes hand in glove in community football. It's going to cost them player payments. It's going to cost them umpire payments. And on a Tuesday night, what sort of turnover do you think they're going to go over the bar to subsidise that?
Well, bugger all, but
Okay.
Health SA, but you're going to get a competition. Health SA, if they're saying to you that you know, it's not looking like you're going to be able to play.
Yep.
No, I'd try and get in as many games as I could once we get the button to go. I know, it's just my opinion.
I'm not sure what's the relativity of that to your original question, though.
I just think, like I said to you, if I was team 4th and team 5th, I'd want to be playing in finals.
So what if we said to those clubs, there is a grand final that's worth about $200,000 to the league. If we run the risk of losing that, being the last week because we went into lockdown again, and those clubs had to underwrite that loss, how do you reckon they'd vote? How do you reckon they'd feel?
No, but I'm just saying, if your grand final is this particular weekend that you push forward because you want to try and get it.
Yep.
So if that is the case, is there any way that in that period that you can fit more games in, a la a Tuesday night?
Well, clearly the answer is yes, but it still comes back to, what do you think the likelihood of clubs wanting to participate in that format would be?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I would say zero. I would say zero.
Okay.
Sam, I guess the thing is, the league will be obviously communicating with clubs, making a decision based on feedback and what's best interest of the league, and we just roll with it. I want to just move on quickly.
Just hold on, Colin. Sam, what if we lose another week?
Yeah, I'm just trying to say to you, we're trying to get in as many games as we can, just to make.
Yeah,
because the AFL did that. I know they're a different beast.
Yeah, I get that, and the answer to your question is, our board and I don't sit around not communicating with our clubs and and putting our finger in the air to see what their mood is.
Yeah, sure. No, that's why I asked the question. Have you spoken to clubs, which I'm sure you have, and would they entertain that? That's why.
Well, Sam, there's a lot of, sometimes it's not about what the clubs want. We need to protect the league. And as I said, we need to get to a grand final. We need to satisfy relegation, and we need to get to some semblance of a final series. And really, do we really want to run the competition around what 4th and 5th think or feel?
Well, it's still A grade. It's a club, so yeah, they're still important.
Hey, Sam.
I didn't say they weren't. I didn't say they weren't. So don't put that in my mouth. All I said was, in the total grand scheme of things, getting to a relegation process and a financial impact on the league, there's going to be collateral damage.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Don't overcook it. It's not hard. That's Tuesday night footy. There would be zero interest in that.
Yeah.
Someone was going to say something.
Yeah, sorry, it's Matt Harris. As someone who's been involved in clubs previously, I can tell you it's way too expensive for clubs not to pull anything over the bar to do a Tuesday night game. So, like, as much as it would make sense to try and get as many games in, Sam, it's financially impossible for the clubs. They're not rolling in cash.
And we're still going to be faced with the prospect of having increased numbers at ungated grounds and an inability to track and trace those participants, those spectators. This is bigger than just what we think or what the 4th and 5th think on the premiership ladder. We're going to have to submit a return to play to SA Health, who will tick it off as to whether they think we can manage the season for the rest of it.
I got a serious question, John. Hello.
Yep.
It's Rob Midland here.
Hey, Rob.
One of the risks, obviously, to the league is having all of the umpires available. And in light of that, and given the situation we're in at the moment with COVID, each weekend that we umpire, we shake hands with a multitude of people. And I'm just wondering whether for the rest of the season, we should mandate as a league that we just touch elbows rather than shake hands with the multitude of people that we do.
Proposed, seconded, approved. No problem at all.
Good.
Done.
Message received.
Now there is a point about training. So we are waiting to hear tomorrow what the announcement is from the government regarding clubs and umpires being able to return to training. If things are all good to go, we will train this Wednesday nights, but just wait and see what happens as far as tomorrow's announcement, and I'll confirm it on the email.
I suspect you'll be able to train. Craig, what are you hearing at sample level? You might have to unmute yourself.
Yes, that's very likely to be the case.
Listen, Sandford aren't planning to play this week either. There you go.
So, John, it's Rob again. The risk of us as a group training and one person being in a hot spot and exposed potentially has a number of umpires locked down, which would affect...
even more so than a club, absolutely, because we're very much the minority. So if our team is impacted through COVID, it runs the risk of completely destabilising. But I would also counter-argue that by saying if that was the case and there was a spread within this cluster, footy's not being played anyway.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
It's just about minimising the risk where we can.
Correct.
Yeah, but Rob, I have sent that email out. I've got 4 or 5 responses from guys that were in hotspots or in quarantine. And so they're obviously not going to attend training. And so we're comfortable with holding training if SA Health and the government allow it tomorrow.
Yeah. But to your point, Rob, minimise the contact with opposition, with players. I think last year, did you come ready to umpire? I can't remember. Maybe that's a thought process as well, that you actually don't even bother going into the club rooms or the change rooms, because you're quite right. The risk and the collateral damage to this group would be significant. But again, counteracted by the fact that if we had 10 blokes with COVID, they'd shut Adelaide down, let alone Adelaide Footy League.
Hey, John, I've got another one. Just a bit different. Just the lease at Theberton. What's happening with that? Could you fill us in?
There's no lease at Theberton anymore. We handed that over to Theberton, to Sandford 2 years ago. We don't have a lease at Theberton.
Well, just give us I haven't heard all the details, so I'm a bit behind with that.
Okay.
When are we moving? When are we likely to move?
We are getting ready to move. We're getting to move in November. We are probably going to be signing a lease on a office space within the next week or so. If we could have done it this week, we would have done it this week, but lockdown proved the challenge, of course. But we'll be out of Theberton straight after our grand final. And I would imagine within a week or 2 or 3 that the Bulldozers will be going into Thebarton Oval from in October. The only variable to that is, whilst it seems unlikely at this stage, whether the Crows end up reprioritising Thebarton and they come to Thebarton as well. But either way, that won't affect this group as much as we're going to be out of Thebarton for probably 2 years.
Okay. And then after we move back, we move back into it?
Yes, with Sandful.
Okay.
Not the whole Sandful administration, just their talent and maybe 1 or 2 others, but primarily their talent department. So
just without giving us numbers or anything, it's obviously been beneficial for that to happen financially?
Yes, it has. If we consider that we had 100% of the expense before we engaged with Sandful, we now have 0.
Okay.
We are all care, no responsibility now at Thebarton Oval.
Yeah, that's what we are as umpires as well.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to influence the board and the whole organisation now as to what I'm picking up from you blokes.
Thanks.
All
right. Unless there's any other questions, appreciate your time. It's it's been a good insight, I guess. Yeah.
And listen, this is non-stop. I'm hanging out from here, and I've got a Sandful Zoom that I'm a few minutes late for, but this is ongoing. So a lot of these questions they're very real. I get them being very real questions, but they also fall into a category of not quite hypothetical, but we move, as I said, we move the chess pieces based on what we hear from day to day. All right.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And guys, we'll be in touch via email when we know more.
Thanks, guys. Gory, you've been behaving like a petulant child in this Zoom, laughing, giggling, generally not paying attention. I'm going to send you a test afterwards to see what you picked up. Yeah. Righto. Thanks, guys.